Mr. Steube, the sponsor of the bill.
The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Genesis 1:27. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Genesis 5:1-2. When God created mankind, he made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female, and he blessed them. Jesus stated in Mark 10:6, but at the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. Also in Matthew 19:4, at the beginning, the Creator made them male and female. For thousands of years in human history, we have recognized as a species that there are women and there are men who are obviously biologically different, dare I say, even scientifically different, and even science agrees with this premise. Yet over the last several years, there has been a perversion in our culture by the enemy, and the left has completely embraced the lie to erase the lines of gender and to convince you there isn't really gender and that gender is fluid and can be whatever you want, whenever you want. Again, more lies. The left has taken gender identity so far that many on the left today cannot even define what a woman is for fear of retribution by trans activists. Even the latest Supreme Court justice appointed by President Biden could not define what a woman is during questioning, and she now sits on the highest court in the land. The radical left has adopted completely made-up terms that didn't even exist just a few short years ago, like non-binary, cisgender, trans male, trans female. You can even find that there are 74 made-up genders, 74 that you can choose from. Everything from agender to omnigender. There's even an astral gender, which is having a gender identity that feels to be related to space. I don't even know what that means. Just a few short years ago, even Democrats would say that this is ridiculous. But today, it is common speak for the radical left. And if you question these fictitious terms, they label you transphobic. Again, another leftist idiom. I have 3 dictionaries in my house. One was copyrighted in 1828, one was copyrighted in 1959, and one was copyrighted in 1988. Shockingly, nowhere in any of these dictionaries are the terms non-binary or trans man or trans woman. Even if you look on Webster today, you just Google Webster, it says that trans man and trans female are terms that were first used in 1996. During the entire history of mankind, you were either male or female until the last few years. In worship to the trans movement, the Biden administration has moved at warp speed to infiltrate every aspect of the federal government with trans speak. Most recently, just a couple weeks ago, I'm assuming in response to this bill moving to a vote, the Biden administration is looking to insert rules on Title IX to force biological men into women's sports in complete defiance of the laws this body passed over 50 years ago. Congress in 1972 created Title IX to protect women's sports, to enable women to have an equal playing field in athletics. And in worship to their trans idols, the administration wants to flip that on its head. It's insane. Title IX was created for women's sports, and now the left wants to kill it. In them giving homage to the trans movement, they are abandoning women all across the country. Parents do not want biological men in locker rooms with their daughters, nor do they believe it's equitable that a male can compete with women in female athletics. It's the whole purpose that Title IX was created to begin with. The radical left wants you to believe that this never happens, and there's only a few instances of this happening. However, the facts bear this statement as false. There's an entire website that documents examples of females who were displaced by males in women's sporting events. It includes the place she would have won had the male not been competing. There are hundreds of examples documented on shewon.org, and Concerned Women has a spreadsheet with, again, hundreds of examples where women face men in competition. In my own district in Sarasota, Florida, my constituent, Emma Wyant, an incredibly talented swimmer and Olympic medalist, lost the 2022 NCAA Women's Swimming Championships title for the 500 freestyle by 1.75 seconds to a man who formerly competed for years on the men's swimming team who took home the title after identifying as a woman. It's a sad day in America when the Democrats have regressed so far backwards that they are willing to erase the rights that women have fought decades to obtain, all to elevate biological males to the top of women's podiums. The integrity of women's sports must be protected. H.R. 734 preserves women's sports and ensures fair competition for generations of women to come, just as Title IX originally intended. If my liberal colleagues truly believe in supporting women's rights, and as they so often tout, they will vote in favor of this bill. I encourage my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to stand for women's free and fair opportunity in athletics and to stand for truth, not lies. I yield back.
Gentlelady reserves her time. Gentleman from California.